Part 49. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 481. The examination room of the college entrance examination has always been arranged according to the area where the applicants are located, and the students of BSHU No. 1 Middle School have also been completely disrupted. The Ankan No. 1 Middle School where Sci-fi was arranged is also a key high school in the state. The desks, chairs, and other equipment fit well. She was very satisfied with the examination room, so she sent another sentence to Odile. The exam room is very close to my home, I can walk there in 5 minutes, don't you think it's pretty good? There was silence for a few minutes. Just when Sci-fi thought the other party was disconnected, the phone made a ding sound, and another message came in. I'm asking politely, is it the most important exam of the Great Xia Empire every year? Is it an exam for high school students to enter university, every June? Yes. On the other end of the phone, Odile fell into silence after reading this reply. Although she did not meet Sci-fi, she was sure that Sci-fi should be about the same age as her, around 27. Why did you go to take the college entrance examination in a blink of an eye? Odile began to wonder if she was opening the phone the wrong way. She and Sci-fi met because they both studied at the Eternal Academy in Liberty State for a period of time, and they were friends added in a group. She only knew that Sci-fi was an S-level evolutionary at worst, and a miracle doctor. Evolutionary take the college entrance examination? Is she crazy or blind? Odile's hand was a little unsteady when she pressed the phone for the first time, and she was a little floating. Then you take the college entrance examination first, and I'll go there in 2 days. Where will you be at that time? Soon she received a location on her mobile phone. Here, filming, do you want to watch it? If you want to come, I will say hello to the director in advance. May I ask again, what are you doing now? Actor, part-time bodyguard. Odile was silent again, her brows and eyes twitching slightly. On the side, the team members were shocked when they saw that her usually elegant and calm expression was slightly cracked at this moment. Captain. Could it be that the Revenge Organization launched an attack on the Evolutionary Alliance? Or riots in Free State? Otherwise what else? Even last year, when the life and death of young Master Chris was at stake, Odile did not see such an expression on her face. It must be some kind of earth-shattering event. Odile returned to her senses, and flicked the dust on the front of her shirt with her fingers. It's okay, I was scared, I will take annual leave in a few days, I will go out for a walk, and find other captains for the affairs of the league. The team members were a little confused. He watched Odile leave in a daze, still thinking about what happened. This matter is too important, and he wants to report it to the leader. Every year, Kinjunmen also dispatches manpower to maintain order on the site to ensure the safety of candidates, in case candidates forget to bring important documents and delay the exam. Shanglu was also among these people, and he happened to be assigned to the examination room where Sci-fi was. When Sci-fi went to see the examination room, she didn't deliberately hide it. That night, a marketing account posted her latest photos. #Sci-fi appears in the college entrance examination room #. In just a few minutes, the entry has already climbed up the hot search. Netizens also started eating melons. To be honest, I have never seen an artist transfer to the border before the college entrance examination, and join the filming group on the second day of the college entrance examination. It is clear that such an important exam is just a joke. Maybe they have a back door, and they have already arranged a school. Unlike us who have worked hard and studied hard for 10 years, people are really incomparable. I heard that Sci-fi will pick up Zhenguo's female general because the salary of this drama is 150 million, is it true? Her daily salary is higher than my annual salary. The muses didn't bother to refute, and directly posted the certificate of Sci-fi's donation of 50 million to the charity foundation on these Weibo, and sent some violent black fanids to Sci-fucking studio. Early the next morning, Ye Zhenmian prepared a hearty breakfast, and Sci-fucking enjoyed it happily. Ching Ching, Mister, you said that he is responsible for seeing you off. Ye Zhenmian reminded. Your uncle and I will send Yan and Jiwan to you, and we will go home for dinner at noon and then rest. Sci-fucking took a bite of the steamed stuffed bun, and said lazily, okay. After eating, she packed her things and went to the examination room. At 8 o'clock, there was already a sea of people outside the examination room. Examination admission ticket, ID card, 2B pencil, eraser. Uzian said, check again. Although Sci-fucking had confirmed that it was correct, she still took another look at the transparent pencil case and made an okay gesture. I have brought them all, brother Jew, don't worry. Yeah. Uzian raised his hand, rubbed her head, and said in a low voice, don't be nervous during the exam. When you met me, the one who was always nervous was the teacher who set the question. Sci-fucking waved his hand, I'm going in, don't wait outside, it's nothing. Uzian watched her go in, and smiled slightly, go. Behind the two. Zhejiang lowered his voice, brother Ju really seems like a very worried parent. Feng San remained expressionless, you'd better be careful with your salary. The moment Uzian's calm eyes swept over, Zhejiang changed his words instantly, brother Ju is really a caring and good partner. Feng San. Otherwise, he still sewed up Canyon's mouth. Isn't this making up for brother Ju's heart? Uzian closed her eyes, you can go back, I will wait for her here. Zhejiang opened his mouth to say something, but Feng San covered his mouth and immediately dragged him away. The same set of test papers were used for the 5 state college entrance examination in Daxia, which took 2 days and ended in the afternoon of June 8. When Sci-fucking packed his things slowly and left the examination room, he saw the students running out like crazy, and some of them doing splits in the air while running. Sci-fucking. Yes, the flexibility is really good. To be young is to be happy. It's a pity that she is old. Outside the school gate are the parents of the candidates who have been waiting for a long time with flowers and various gifts. Some of them are already hugging each other. Sci-fucking lowered his head, his eyes suddenly felt a little heavy. No matter in this life or in the previous life, she has no parents. Until there is a faint fragrance of flowers. Sci-fucking was startled, and raised his head. A handsome man in a dark gray suit stood in front of her with a carefully wrapped bouquet of flowers in his hand. The voice is light, but it can startle a ripple. Congratulations. Sci-fucking blinked and took the bouquet of flowers. Miraculously, all her negativity disappeared. Ninth brother. You must be a good father in the future. Uzian looked down at her, her expression remained unchanged, and her voice was calm. It seems that after the exam, your mind is indeed a little unclear, and the questions are difficult. Fortunately, the skills are very high. Sci-fucking stretched his waist, after the exam, I will join the filming team tomorrow, and I have to have a good meal today. Uzian, well, go home and have dinner. The college entrance examination is over, and the internet is full of excitement, discussing the college entrance examination questions. Hashtag college entrance math hashtag. Hashtag college entrance examination Chinese composition hashtag. The hot searches are all occupied by the college entrance examination. I'm already in college, why am I so concerned about the college entrance examination? Fortunately, I took the exam early. This year's math problems are too difficult. Is this composition written by a human? I didn't understand the question. In the same exam room as Ching Ching, I feel like I am possessed by a koi, and I performed supernormally during the exam. Ching Ching baby is really beautiful. Congratulations. Which school will Ching Ching go to? She didn't take the art test, and she couldn't even go to film and television school, so she wanted to go to an academic university. No matter where I go, I will always like her, she deserves my liking. Not only the moose were extremely puzzled, but also netizens and marketing accounts couldn't figure it out. Especially Xia Ying's admissions department was even more puzzled. They have already called Sang Yanking more than a dozen times, and they have repeatedly stated that it doesn't matter if SI fucking missed the art test, as long as the culture class of the college entrance examination reaches Xia Ying's line, they can make an exception and let SI fucking enter Xia Ying. SI fucking's acting skills can be said to be at the pinnacle. When Xiao Hua was still competing for the #1 TV drama actress at the same age, she had already been nominated for the 9 Heavens Award. Xia Ying must not miss such a student. Originally, in terms of film and television, the Great Xia Empire was lagging behind the Western continent, and SI fucking finally came out. Could they let it go? Xia Ying also didn't want to disturb SI fucking's college entrance examination, so she contacted Sang Yanking immediately after the college entrance examination. I'm sorry, we have our own goals. Sang Yanking still refused. She has already discussed with the professors of Xia University, and she will go to Xia University. As for what major she will apply for, it depends on her own ideas. I'm just an agent and don't get involved in these things. At the end of the call, the vice principal at the side said in surprise, I heard that right, University of Xia. No, the teacher in the admissions department was also extremely surprised. It is indeed Xia Da. Xia University is the #1 university in the Great Xia Empire, and it can also be ranked among the top 10 in the world. It sends talents to various international organizations every year. I heard that there were 2 perverts in the Department of Computer Science this year, and they received offers from T18 and 0 intelligence agencies before they graduated. Everyone in Xia University yearns for the holy place of study, but not everyone can enter. High eyes but low hands. The vice principal shook his head. She is not good at cultural subjects, but she has to go beyond her limits to apply for Xia University. If she comes to Xia Ying, she will be the absolute #1, and we will spend resources on her to train her. Pity. Such a high-minded person can't go far in any circle. But he didn't bother to point out, SI fucking wanted to destroy his future, and it had nothing to do with him. But Song Wenhua will definitely come. The teacher of the admissions department smiled. She was born as a child star, and she took over the drama Lonely Walking. Next year, she will also compete for the spotlight. The Huanian Award has not awarded the Best Actress award to the same person for 2 consecutive years. This year it will be SI fucking, and next year it will be Song Wenhua. Since SI fucking can't come to Xia Ying can only train Song Wenhua to surpass her. This is SI fucking's loss. The vice principal frowned and nodded. Help her promote it well. On June 9, SI fucking officially entered the filming crew of The Female General of Zhenguo. In the first 2 episodes, she didn't have a part in the show, and Zhang Ziyu was played by a young actor. SI fucking wrote out some of Zhang Ziyu's character traits when she was a child, and handed it over to the screenwriter. The young actors are very energetic and perform vividly. The road guide was very satisfied. Not bad, we're off to a good start, and it's good to have teacher SI here. You really went to psychic. Sang Yanking was surprised. I heard from the road guide that you scared the screenwriter lady. SI fucking lazily said, just pretend I'm going to channel a psychic. The game system also forbids her to tell other people about traveling back to the Great Xia dynasty, otherwise the time travel will be stopped. She hasn't seen Yinhuan completely drive the barbarians out of the Wuzhu continent. Teacher Simo Yishan opened the curtain and came in. I didn't expect you to find me to play Zhang Haiping. How did you fall in love with me? You asked me to play the role of Marshal Zhenguo. If SI fucking hadn't invited him, he really wouldn't have accepted it. After all, the role of Zhang Haiping is too difficult to play. SI Fu rubbed his chin, because you still look a bit alike. Mo Yishan choked, looked at the portrait of Zhang Haiping posted in the director's office, and fell silent. I'm not a shoehorn face. At that time, the painting skills were not good. Si fucking raised his eyebrows. Jiang Suanjin, the white-clothed military commander of his dream lover who can give birth to so many girls, and Marshal Jiang is also a rare handsome man. Mo Yishan accepted his fate. It sounds like you have seen it before. I did. Mo Yishan. Director Lu finished talking to the young actors and came over. Mr. Si, haven't the actors you recommended to play Mo Yanfan and Jiang Suanjin come yet? When will they come? It's coming soon, they are quite busy, and I managed to make an appointment with them. Si fucking looked at the time. They are here. As soon as the sentence fell, there was a knock on the door. Lu Dao looked refreshed, and immediately got up to open the door. Mo Yishan and the others also looked towards the door. They also wanted to know who exactly Si fucking had found to play these two figures who could be regarded as milestones in history. The great event of heaven and earth, Ching Ching College entrance examination. Si fucking, queued. It's the end of the month, I'm asking for a wave of monthly tickets, and I'll add more tomorrow for everyone. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 482. The door opened, and two slender and tall figures came in one after the other. It was Mo Yanwen and Zhang Shui Han. It is undeniable that the temperament and appearance of the two are very outstanding. It really fits Mo Yanfan and Jiang Suanjin, two famous figures in history. Obviously no one had ever seen these two people before, but at such a moment, they suddenly had the feeling that Mo Yanfan and Jiang Suanjin had come back to life. Everyone in the room was stunned. Everyone, it's a pleasure to meet you. Mo Yanwen stepped forward, smiled and nodded at Si fucking, Miss Si. Si fucking status in the Mo family is no less than that of Yu Zion, especially since she found the solution to the Mo family's organ city, which greatly increased the strength of the Mo family. Mo Yanwen was also able to crack the traps left by Mo Yanfan. Zhang Shuiyan also greeted Si fucking. Lu Dao was stunned for a moment, then looked at Zhang Shuiyan and suddenly trembled. Wait, you are not that. He stuttered for a long time, unable to complete a sentence. The screenwriter suddenly reacted, and suddenly said, you belong to the Qinjun League. I'm right here. Zhang Shuiyan was gentle and refined. Thanks to the leader's approval, I was able to come and help Miss Si. The rescue of Qinjunmen's mountain city. Torrential rain and earthquake made the news, and Zhang Shuiyan also appeared in the camera as the spokesperson of Xiao Wenjian and Mu Qingmeng. At that time, the reporter also specifically introduced that he is the only surviving branch of the Zhang family. When the screenwriter said this, everyone else remembered it too. Si fucking actually invited the descendants of the Zhang family. The road guide trembled even more, and looked at Mo Yanwen tremblingly. Then you are. It's a great honor to help Miss Si. Mo Yanwen also smiled back. My surname is Mo. This surname is like a stone stirring up 1,000 waves. Before the road guide said anything, Zhang Shuiyan smiled and said, Brother Mo is the current head of the Mo family. If you want to watch the hidden weapons show, you can just ask Brother Mo. The room was silent. The descendants of the Zhang family, the head of the Mo family. This is a big shot that they usually don't get in touch with. Si fucking once invited two of them. Mo Yishan clutched his heart, breathing hard. Every time when he thought that his heart's endurance was a little higher, Si fucking took out two more bombs, and he would not be reconciled not to blow him up to death. The road guide took a few steps back and fell on the chair. Are you alright, Director Lu? Sang Yanking was very concerned. If there is something wrong, the medicine you poured on you. Before she finished speaking, Lu Gui immediately took out the bottle and poured down a pill. After the medicine entered his stomach, Lu Dao's face was still red. Big hair. Originally, he was still worried about how to shoot the hidden weapons of the Mo family. With the current head of the Mo family, what martial arts guidance is needed? Everything is real. Since the Moism has been passed down to this day, there must still be a lot of unpublished historical materials, and he wants to give the Moism an added role. The road guide hugged the assistant director excitedly and started dancing. The screenwriter was a young girl, and she couldn't hold back her excitement, so she took out a pen and paper and asked for an autograph. The others did not miss this opportunity, and started talking with Mo Yanwen and Zhang Shuiyan. Si greeted the road guide, left the director's office, and came to the border area again by car. The border area and the crew are not far away, only an hour's drive away. Knowing that she would come, Uzian specially made hot tea. "Ninth brother, can I put my game cabin here with you?" Si fox eyes brightened. "I sometimes go into the game to find some inspiration for acting." He has never been able to resist her looking at her like this. "Well, I'll let someone move it." At this time, the door of the wooden house was knocked, and a cheerful voice sounded, "Brother Jew, I smell the fragrance of tea, let me have a sip." Uzian supported her head with a calm expression. "Your nose is very good." Even so, he took out an extra teacup. Sifu tilted his head back. It was a young man in uniform. He looked less than 20 years old, the tip of his nose was red from the wind and snow, but his body was full of vigor and frivolity that only teenagers could have. "Brother Jew. This is Miss Si, right?" The young man also saw her, and his expression lifted. "Miss Si, hello, I am Brother Jew's subordinate. It is the first time we meet, please give me your advice." Because of the rescue incident in Shansheng, they already knew about Si before they met her. "Hello." Si shook hands with him. "Have you been here for a long time?" "I've been here since I was 16. I've been here for almost 4 years, and I'm not used to it at first." The young man drank his tea, exhaled, and smiled. "Brother Jew saved me, so I'll follow ding him. I won't bother you anymore." The young man waved his hand. "I'm just here to ask Brother Jew for tea. If I stay any longer, I'll be beaten." Si watched him leave, then turned his head, his eyes fell on the man, and he remained motionless. He turned around suddenly. She met his gaze directly, and at the intersection, something seemed to be gently lifted. Uzian raised her eyebrows and smiled. "What's wrong?" Sifu tilted his chin. "You treat your subordinates very well, they all like you. You have to do everything yourself before you know the suffering of people's livelihood." Uzian said in a cold voice, "I am also a human being, so there is no difference." As soon as these words came out, Sifu's eyes darkened a bit, and there was a bit of probing in his eyes. He asked, "Go back to the set in the afternoon?" "Yes." I still stared at him. "Come over at night." "Okay." Uzian smiled, "I'll pick you up." At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, today's filming ends, and the road guide arranges for tomorrow's filming process. Because there is no role in the play, Si is very free these few days, and is also responsible for talking to the actors. "This is your itinerary for next year." Sang Yanking took out a planner. "We still have to take on variety shows. You have a strong sense of variety shows. It just so happens that the second episode of Daxia Treasure will start recording next year. Director's teamwork, I think you will like this variety show." Si took over the introduction and overview of Great Xia Treasure. Great Summer Treasure has a total of 12 episodes, and each episode will choose a historical figure for dialogue, and the program team will invite some actors to play these historical figures. As a resident guest host, she undertakes the duty of dialogue with these historical figures. Not only solid line skills are required, but acting skills are also indispensable. To be able to do this, among the young actors, only Si can play the leading role. After watching the 12 historical figures identified in the season, Si felt a little regretful. There is no Emperor Yin. Sang Yanking shook his head. "You don't even think about who can play Yin Huang." Sifu rubbed his chin. "I think my big benefactor is fine." Sang Yanking. "It seems to be really appropriate." "Okay, I'll take this variety show. Sci-fi was eager to try. These historical figures all appeared after Emperor Yin, so I should be able to meet them too. Sang Yanking accepted it quickly and quickly. Okay, I'll wait for your psychic. Do you want to see someone? Poetry must be warm and long. Changing Si feuding calculated. He seems to be a character from the 700th year of the lunar calendar, and many poems have been lost. Sang Yanking, if you find out his lost poems, I'm afraid the high school students will beat you to death. Mo Yishin and several supporting actors exchanged glances. See, the psychic thing is accepted as it is said to be accepted. It seems that their ability to accept is too low, and they need to learn from Sang Yanking, the #1 manager in Daxia. 2 days later, Ye Junsai and Ye Zhenmian bid farewell and set off to return to Ye's house. Butler Ye went back 1 day earlier, and had already informed Ye Yuzhen and Mrs. Ye, and explained all the injustices he encountered in the past half-month. Miss Yuzhen, Miss Junsai must have been deluded. Butler Ye whispered, you have to be more vigilant. What are you afraid of? Ye Yuzhen was non-committal. Although she is A-level, her bloodline is not stable, sometimes even worse than me. The tranquilizer is in the hands of the old lady, and she is afraid that she will turn upside down. Unless Ye Junsai didn't want to live anymore. Butler Ye let out a sigh of relief. With Ye Yuzhen's support, he regained his confidence. In the afternoon, Ye Junsai came back with Ye Luwen. Ye Yuzhen stepped forward to greet her with a smile. My sister is back, it just so happens that the old lady is looking for you. Ye Junsai glanced at her, said nothing, and went into the Buddhist hall. Mrs. Ye sat on the chair. I'm back. Ye Junsai responded lightly, without any expression. Jun Ci, not everyone in our Ye family can enter. Of course, Zhenmian belongs to our Ye family, and she will definitely come back. Mrs. Ye turned the prayer beads in her hand. Her husband and son can also stay, but if the niece who has no blood relationship with our Ye family wants to stay in the Ye family, she must agree to 2 things. Ye Junsai frowned. What? The first thing is, she is going to marry the Shen family to ease the relationship between our 2 families. I sent her photo to the Shen family. The Shen family did not dislike her as an ordinary person. Mrs. Ye said, the first 2 things, once you enter Shen's house, you won't be able to show your face in public. You go and tell her that the entertainment industry must quit. The Shen family's rating is about to reach B. Food and drink are indispensable. The entertainment industry is too messy. The Shen family doesn't want her to have scandals with other members of the opposite sex. Apart from good looks, Si doesn't have any advantages. What else can you do if you don't get married early and take care of your husband and children at home? Thank you guys for your support. See you tomorrow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 483. Mrs. Ye didn't think there was anything wrong with her thinking. A large number of evolved people have an absolute sense of superiority over ordinary people. They think that they have evolved genes and are new humans, and ordinary people who have not evolved should be left to be slaughtered by them. Just in order to balance the relationship between evolutionists and ordinary people, the Intercontinental Research Institute has also created corresponding combat machines to fight against evolutionaries and prevent evolutionaries from rioting. This kind of machine can rely on high-tech means to judge the weakness of the evolutionary, and detect the evolutionary ability of the evolutionary, so as to transform in an instant and fight with it. But in any case, the evolutionary is not something ordinary people can deal with. Being able to marry into the Shen family is Si blessing. It is much more glorious than her being a star in the entertainment industry. What reason is there not to agree? These are my 2 requests. Mrs. Ye frowned and looked at Ye Junsai. Did you hear that? Madam, You may be thinking too much. Ye Junsai was not only not angry, but just found it extremely funny. My sister has no plans to go back to Yes house, and Miss Si looks down on Yes house even more. She won't come at all. Mrs. Ye was taken aback for a moment, and then said angrily, "What did you say? If Yekinyu hadn't been killed by members of the Quinn family, their Ye family would have been the best of the B-level families. How could anyone dare to look down on the Ye family? They didn't come back." Ye Junsai glanced at her indifferently. "Do you think the Ye family is a sweet pastry that others are vying for? It's not rare, understand?" "Okay, Ye Junsai, you are so courageous." Mrs. chest was heaving with anger. "You don't want even one of the tranquilizers sent by the Evolutionary Alliance this month." She wanted to see how Ye Junsai could stabilize her bloodline without the help of tranquilizers. Whatever, Ye Junsai didn't bother to say anything to Mrs. So she got up and left without staying for a second. When she passed Ye Yuzhin at the door of the living room, she said again, "Take care of your dog," Mrs. Si said, "and bark in front of our sister. We won't see the sun tomorrow." Ye Yuzhin's footsteps were suddenly fixed. He frowned and looked at Ye Junsai's back, and took a deep breath. "It's crazy. Using an honorific title for an ordinary person, how dare you speak nonsense? Si fucking wouldn't think that knowing some fighting skills would be enough to deal with evolutionaries, right? It's just enough for her to film in the entertainment industry." Ye Yuzhin didn't take Ye Junsai's words to heart at all, and came to Mrs. side. Mrs. was furious, and threw a cup out of her hand. "This Ye Junsai simply doesn't know what to do. And that actor, arrogant. Old lady, calm down. Since the Shen family has taken a fancy to her, they will definitely not let her go." Ye Yuzhin squeezed the shoulders of old Madame Ye. "What if she doesn't come back? The Shen family always has a way to get her mated. Si fucking's itinerary is available online, and the Shen family also found out that she is filming in Bizhu." Mrs. anger still persisted. "As for Ye Junsai, the old lady doesn't have to worry," Ye Yuzhin said with a smile. "She just got lucky. The Quinn family was bloodbathed by an S-level evolutionary a few days ago. She has no enemy, so she naturally became crazy." The news about the death of several evolutionists in the Quinn family also spread. Especially this incident alarmed Odile. The major evolutionary families were discussing what kind of terrifying people the Quinn family had offended. Mrs. sneered, "Sooner or later, get rid of her. Without the tranquilizer, she won't be able to survive. Every evolutionary needs tranquilizers to prevent power riots, especially evolutionists with unstable bloodlines like Ye Junsai. If they cannot inject tranquilizers in time, they will be degraded at least, or even die at worst. Whether it's the former or the latter, Ye Yuzhin really wants to see it. The crew of the female general of the town is here." The shooting process was very smooth. Basically it was a one-off process. Only then did Director Liu understand what it was like for Tang Haiqiu to say that cooperating with Si fucking was a kind of enjoyment. He has been a director for so many years, and he has never felt so comfortable. Guide Liu, the production team of the first concept film has finished editing, the assistant director said. "It just so happens that it can be released tomorrow." The road guide nodded. "Okay, it doesn't matter if we shoot slowly, we must be rigorous and follow history. Now there are too few directors like you who are serious about filming." The assistant director sighed. "There are too few actors who are serious like Mr. Si. As a result, despite the advancement of film and television technology, the current domestic dramas are far inferior to the martial arts dramas of 20 years ago. Special effects can be added to everything in post-production, and the actors' fighting scenes are gradually degrading. Among young actors, only Si fucking can really fight. She is serious, so we have to be more serious." Guide Liu smiled. "We must help her win the Grand Slam award." The assistant director nodded. "MSC's role will be next week, and I look forward to her performance." In the lounge, Si fucking had just finished directing the young actor who played Zhang Ziyu's childhood, and was sitting on the sofa drinking tea. The phone dinged, and a message came in at this moment. Sci-fi tilted his head down. "Odelia, this place is desolate, are you really here, to film? In fact, if you are down and out, I can still help you." "Sci-fucking, are you here?" "Odelia, just arrived, I'm in town, I can't get in." Odile is keenly aware that there are several powerful evolutionary auras here, so of course she will not act rashly. The Alliance of Evolvers also has an agreement with the Supernatural Administration, not to interfere with the peace of the 5 states of Great Xia. So she changed into casual travel clothes and found a cafe in the small town. "Sci-fucking, send me the location, and I'll go find you." Odile sent a location. Sci-fucking took a look, grabbed his coat and put it on. Feng San brought things over for Yu Zion, and happened to meet Sci-fucking who was going out. He was stunned for a moment. "Miss Si is going out?" Sci-fucking nodded. "Meet the netizens." Feng San asked subconsciously, "Male or female?" "Pretty girl, very pretty." Sci-fu rubbed his chin thinking, "I need to give you some presents when we meet for the first time, let me see." She searched for a long time, and finally took a sachet she made. "It's a bit shabby, I'll make it up another day." When Feng San heard the word poor, her forehead twitched. "In this sachet is the medicine that Sci-fucking made himself. Every medicine is the medicinal material of the Ghost Valley Center. Only she and the owner of the Ghost Valley can enter the Ghost Valley Center. The medicinal materials are priceless and have no market. Wearing it for a long time can prolong the life of ordinary people, and can also improve the riot genes in the evolutionary body, which is a great supplement for S-level evolutionary. Yu Zion has an advanced version." Shabby. Feng San found out that he and Miss Si had a different concept of shabby. San, I'm leaving." Sci-fucking waved his hand. "Take good care of Brother Ju, don't let him work too late." Feng San regained consciousness and blurted out, "Miss Si is really a good employee." As soon as he finished speaking, he realized what he said and just wanted to slap himself. "That's right." Sci-fucking put on his coat and snapped his fingers, "dedicated and loves the boss." Feng San hastened to make amends. No, Miss Si, I mean. Sci-fucking has already left." Feng San bangs her head against the wall in frustration. Canyoning gave him a disdainful look. "It's half a caddy, and I have the nerve to ridicule him." At this time, the evolutionists sent by the Shen family also arrived at the border of Bizhu. The leader was a middle-aged man, a B-level evolutionary, and he brought 7 C-level evolutionaries. He glanced at the information he found on the internet again, and frowned. "We can't go directly to the crew, we have to wait for them to come out to buy living resources before doing it. Now we live in the town." There were too many people on the crew, and they didn't intend to target other people. And at this moment, an evolutionary suddenly said, "Sir, look quickly, is that Sci-fucking?" The middle-aged man looked in the direction he pointed. Not far away, the girl was wearing a coat, her legs were slender and straight, and she was walking towards this side. There is no makeup on her face, but she is inadvertently beautiful. There were very few passers-by, but everyone who saw it took out their mobile phones and took a picture. "It's her." The middle-aged man glanced at the photo in his hand and exclaimed, "No wonder the young master has taken a fancy to her, she is so beautiful, even the young lady of the Yin family is inferior." "Mr. Good Chance," said the evolutionary behind him, "she's alone now, we'll take her back directly. Even if Sci-fucking is a big star, their Shen family can make her disappear in the entertainment industry without a sound." The middle-aged man squinted his eyes and said decisively, "Let's go." Sci-fucking arrived in the small town and was about to send a message to Odile, when the sunlight in front of him was blocked by several shadows. She raised her head slowly, her eyes fell on the middle-aged man, and she raised her eyebrows with interest. "First of all, let me introduce myself. My surname is Shen, and I am the young master's guard, the middle-aged man said lightly. The Ye family should have told you that you want to marry into our Shen family, but unfortunately you are not willing, so we can only take you away. Si fucking didn't show any look of fear. Aren't you afraid that the Evolved Alliance will blame you for your actions against me in Bizhu? I heard that there was a family of Evolved that was bloodbathed recently, and the Evolved Alliance dispatched a law enforcement team leader. It seems that Ye Junsai still told you something, and you know a lot. Hearing this, the middle-aged man shook his head, but after all, it's still a little thoughtless. We didn't kill you, we just brought you. You go, I will give you glory and wealth, the Evolved Alliance will take care of this kind of thing. Odile would be so free as the captain of the law enforcement. Going to the Great Xia Empire specifically? Little things like this don't go into her ears at all. You are a star with delicate skin and tender flesh, and we don't want to be rough. The middle-aged man put his hands behind his back. Be sensible and take the initiative to go with us, otherwise we will have to tie you up. Wait a minute. Si fucking brows were calm. I'll make a phone call first. She took out her mobile phone and dialed Odile's number in front of the middle-aged man. Good morning. Afternoon update: someone is going to be unlucky. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 484. Drip, drip. The call sounded. Si fucking's reaction was unexpected by the evolutionists of the Shen family. When the middle-aged man saw her move, he thought it was amused. Who are you going to call? Your manager, or the benefactor who gave you resources in the entertainment industry? Do you know what an evolutionary is? The mutated genes brought them the ability to evolve, and they were like gods in front of these ordinary people. No matter who Si fucking called, it was useless. He would have liked to see who she could call. The middle-aged man took a lot of leisure time and did not stop him. Drop. On the third beep, the phone was picked up. Hello. Well, it's me, Si fucking said unhurriedly. I've arrived at the gate of the town and I can't walk anymore. Come out and pick me up. I'm wearing a navy blue coat, and you can see it when I come out. Odile was silent for a moment. Can't you walk anymore? Si fucking spoke confidently. Yes. Are you disabled? Odile walked out while picking up the coffee. Actually, if you tell me, I won't dislike you. She became more and more curious about what Si fucking looked like. Could it be God's disability? Odile walked to the gate of the town in a few steps, and after a glance, she finally saw the navy blue coat that Si fucking mentioned. A surprisingly young face. She seems to have seen it somewhere just now. Odile pushed the sunglasses, stepped forward, and was about to say something when the girl suddenly squatted down. Si fucking hugged his knees with both hands, pointed at the middle-aged man with one hand, and said in a low voice, accusing, they bullied me and said you would not care about me. Odile looked at her behavior and fell silent for a while, and before she had time to think about whether there was something wrong with this meeting, she slowly turned her head in a stagnant atmosphere. She has beautiful long platinum curly hair, which is tied high with a hair rope, revealing her fair neck, and a typical figure from the western mainland, graceful and graceful. She was a beautiful girl with a slender waist and long legs. Even if she was covered in a long robe, her figure could not be concealed. People often have the impression that her body is more than her face. At this time, she took off her sun hat and sunglasses, and her face was fully exposed in the sunlight. The expression of the middle-aged man changed drastically in an instant, and the smile on the corner of his mouth also froze. His pupils shrank violently, and his voice trembled. Oh, 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 oh. Si fucking blinked his fox eyes. Quick, beat him up. He actually said you are Arya. Odile took the last sip of coffee, smiled and clapped her hands. Oh? Really? Thump. The aura that belonged to Super A-level evolutionists exploded, and the middle-aged man's legs softened and he knelt directly on the ground. The few sea-level evolutionists he brought couldn't bear the absolute coercion of this bloodline, and fell into a severe coma within a few seconds. As a super A-level evolutionary, Ogilia's ability is not weaker than that of an S-level evolutionary. Her evolutionary ability is to control the magnetic field and create a force field, so that she can even fly. At the same time, she has a very high melee ability, which is why she became the captain of the first law enforcement team of the Evolved Alliance. It is said that the leader of the Evolved Alliance intends to let the young leader Chris marry her, but I don't know why the two are actually at odds. Fortunately, the location of this group of evolutionaries was far away, and no one came over. Under this coercion, Sci stood up instead, without being affected in any way. She stepped forward unhurriedly. "Are you afraid of letting you bully me? I will find someone to beat you up." The middle-aged man could only move his head, his pupils dilated, and his voice changed. "You actually..." Not suppressed by Odile's bloodline. Only at this time did the middle-aged man finally realize that it was not Odile who was terrified, but Sci who they always thought could only be slaughtered by them. What kind of ordinary person would be able to know Odile? How on earth do you think she is an ordinary person? The middle-aged man's ears were buzzing, and his thoughts were completely confused. But they checked the information, and the information showed that Sci was just an actor, a game master, a young artist, etc., none of which could be related to an evolutionary. What's more, how can a high-level evolutionist do this? It's boring. Sci squeezed his wrist. What should they do? I don't want to see blood. I'll just have someone send it to the Evolutionary Alliance laboratory, so we don't need to worry about it. Odile shrugged. There is just a shortage of experimental subjects, but the bloodline is not good enough, but it can be used for a while. Hearing this sentence, the middle-aged man's eyes darkened. The Evolutionary Alliance laboratory is directly connected to the Free Continent Intercontinental Research Institute, and entered as an experimental subject, so don't even think about it. He wanted to beg for mercy, but he couldn't make any sound at all, and there was deep fear on his face. The rules of the evolutionary are cruel and cruel. If Sci fell into their hands, of course they would not be relentless. But now, the hunter and the prey have been separated, they have become fish on the chopping board and can only be slaughtered. High-end hunters often appear in the image of prey. Odile quickly called two other members of the law enforcement team on vacation and asked them to take the Shen family away. The matter was resolved quickly, and she finally had free time to look at the girl in front of her. "What's going on with you?" Odile frowned. "Your age, and your level of evolution, no, very wrong." If Sci hadn't contacted her, she would have suspected that some evolutionary with the ability to transform was a counterfeit. "It's a long story." Sci sighed. "Simply speaking, I died and came back to life. My age and strength have also gone backwards. It's too miserable." Odile nodded. "Okay, I can't see that you are still a novelist, and you are very good at making up stories." Sci "Forget it, I don't care." Odile hooked her lips. "Tell me seriously, what are you doing?" "I'm not as easy to deceive as Chris, I believe everything you say." "I'm really an actor." Sci pointed to the only billboard in the town. "Look, that's me." Odile looked up, looked at the photo on the billboard, and finally remembered where she had seen Sci. It turned out to be directly opposite the billboard where she drank coffee. The air was strangely still. Sci calmed down. "I swear to God, I never lied. How could I have the heart to lie to you?" After a long period of silence, Odile finally raised her hand and gave a thumbs up. "In the words of your great Xia Empire, awesome." Sci lazily said, "It's average, it's the third best in the world." "Okay, then you can film well, and I won't bother you." Odile put on her sunglasses again. "I just happened to be on vacation, so I will go to the Shen family for you. Speaking of which, I have never heard of this family. They took you. What's wrong with you?" Sci thought for a while. Let me carry on the family line for them, take care of their husbands and raise their children. Odile imagined this scene, and her expression turned cold. No, I can't bear it. Daydream in broad daylight. By the way, this is for you. As I fucking handed over the sachet, wear it with you to stabilize your bloodline. Odilia took the sachet, her eyes moved slightly. I owe you another life. She and Si fucking have never met in reality, but they have met in eternity. At that time, she was seriously injured and dying, and she was still connected to the abyss mode. If she died in the abyss mode, she was really dead. It was Si fucking who passed by and rescued her, and healed all the injuries on her body, including old hidden injuries. She even broke through the bottleneck that had trapped her for a long time. Later, Si fucking disappeared suddenly, and he disappeared for 4 years. Odile looked for it, but returned without success. She didn't expect that their real meeting would be in such a scene. You're welcome. Si fucking waved his hand nonchalantly, just help me beat people up more. No problem, Odile said lazily. What's the name of the show you're filming? I'll go back and have a look. Walking the Devil. Si fucking said, welcome to provide me with the playback volume. Odile remembered it in her heart, and after chatting for a few more words, the two separated. On the other side, the Shen family. It was supper time, and the family was having dinner. It's been a day, why hasn't he come back? Patriarch Shen frowned. Isn't it just to bring people to the border of Bizhu? Why did you go for so long? Young Master Shen didn't care much, perhaps it was delayed on the way. After all, he is a big star, so he is relatively delicate. Master Shen nodded. I don't like it very much, but it's fine if you like it. Anyway, in her capacity, it's impossible to be your wife. It's just for fun. If you get tired of playing, you can also send it to other families. His son still has to marry an evolutionary if he wants to marry, so as to produce offspring with purer bloodlines. Young Master Shen remembered the photos sent by the Ye family. His eyes were full of greed. It should be able to play for a long time. Last year, he had met the eldest lady of the Yin family from a distance, and he was astonished. He never thought that there would be a more beautiful person. Let's eat first, Patriarch Shen said. Call me later and ask where they went. As soon as he picked up the chopsticks, the door was knocked rhythmically. Young Master Shen's expression lifted, and he couldn't wait to stand up. I'll go and open the door. It must be his bodyguard who brought Si fucking back. He is going to play now. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 485. The door opened, but outside the door was not the person that young Master Shen had been waiting for a long time. He was about to get angry when he met the woman's overly bright face. Young Master Shen froze in place, being captured by this beauty. He couldn't think at all. Odile saw the members of the Shen family gathered around a dining table. Are you eating? Hearing an unfamiliar voice, Patriarch Shen looked over. When he saw the woman's face clearly, he hurriedly got up and stepped forward, staggered and nearly fell, and finally knelt on the ground. Miss Odilia. Shen's mother and several other Shen family members also stood up immediately, nervous. Odilia is the first captain of the law enforcement team of the Evolved Alliance, and the eldest lady of the Lotbar family, one of the 3 evolved families, with extremely high status and power. There are several untouchable characters in the evolutionary world, and Odile is one of them. With the status of the Shen family, not to mention seeing Odile herself, even her subordinates are not qualified to see her. But they also all have a picture of Odilia and are instantly recognizable. Odile actually went to their Shen's house in person. It must be a big happy event. Patriarch Shen hurriedly asked the butler to show Odilia a seat, while he went to serve tea and water. Respectfully, I don't know why Miss Odilia came to Shen's house. Odile knocked on the table with her hand, hummed, it's something. The head of the Shen family was even more respectful. Miss Odile, please tell me that the Shen family will never hesitate to die. Boom. As soon as he finished saying this, he was caught off guard, and the bloodline suppression dropped directly. Plop, plop. Kneeling sounded one after another. Patriarch Shen didn't have time to react. The next second, the force field around him changed instantly, and the whole person flew into the air. The bloodlines of the others were weaker than Patriarch Shen, so they were naturally easily controlled by Odile. Odile was still sitting at the table drinking tea, and her every move was very elegant, reminiscent of a dancing black swan. It's really courageous. I admire you very much. The Shen family is really powerful. She didn't even dare to offend Sci-fi, but the Shen family still wanted to take him back to be a husband and son, so her courage was unusually high. Patriarch Shen was shocked, completely unaware of what happened. Miss Odile, we didn't do anything. How is this going? What is your son, an evolutionary whose lineage can touch B-level, but still wants to have 3 wives and 4 concubines? Still want others to pass on his family? Odile raised her hand and pinched young Master Shen's throat, smiling bloodthirsty. Why, the family has the throne to inherit. These words made Patriarch Shen finally clear his mind, but he was even more horrified. Sci-fi? Odile actually came for her? But how could a star in the entertainment circle know a transcendent grade evolutionary? But the current juncture does not allow Patriarch Shen to think too much. His eyes are tearing open, and his voice is hoarse. Miss Odile, you are a transcendent grade evolutionary, and doing this violates the rules set by the Evolutionary Alliance. The Evolutionary Alliance stipulates that S-level and Super A-level evolutionaries are not allowed to do anything to low-level evolutionaries. Rules. Odile wiped the blood from her hands gracefully. It's a pity, in the League of Evolvers, I am the rules, and you can't object. Patriarch Shen only felt that the blood in his whole body was cold, and his whole body was like falling into an ice cellar. Odile snapped her fingers, and the law enforcement team came in and directly sealed off Shen's house. Captain, a team member stepped forward. There are a few ordinary people locked up in the room, and we are going to send them to the hospital. Yeah, Odile said, you go to work, and I'm going on vacation. She plans to use this period of vacation to read Walking the Devil again. As soon as he walked out of Shen's house, the phone rang. Odile frowned and looked at the caller ID, but still picked up. Hello. A deep voice came from the receiver. The Shen family is a small family, and they can't even make it into the top 100. Why did they mess with you? Odile groaned. I can't bear to rob people's girls by force. Chris squinted his eyes and didn't answer. He obviously didn't believe the statement very much. Odile suddenly said, by the way, I advise you to give up. What? You have been looking for her for 4 years but you haven't found her. She can be seen everywhere. You are really blind. Chris. After saying this, Odile hung up the phone and blocked the number one by one. Standing under RM's advertising screen, she was deeply worried about Chris' vision. This cannot be found, is undoubtedly a blind man. In less than a week, the Quinn family and the Shen family had accidents one after another, which made the evolutionary families below the A-level alert. The news naturally reached the Ye family. Steward Ye's heart jumped. Miss Yuzhen, it doesn't really have anything to do with Ye Zhenmian, does it? Why is it such a coincidence that the accident happened to families related to them? Impossible, Ye Yuzhen said with a calm expression. She didn't even inherit the evolutionary gene, so what does it matter? The Shen family offended Miss Ogilia and was sent directly to the laboratory. However, they have done a lot of evil things over the years, and they have received their retribution. Let's pay for what they pay, and put some money on Ye Zhenmian's face. Butler Ye thought about it, and breathed a sigh of relief. Miss Yuzhen, a new batch of tranquilizers has arrived. I withheld Ye Zhensai's share, and I have already given it all to the young master. Well done, Ye Yuzhen smiled. Let's go, let's go to Ankan as well. Tranquilizers are all limited, and a family can only get that much, and even the Yin family doesn't have more. Without the tranquilizer, Ye Junsai's strength is not even as good as hers. Steward Ye was overjoyed, and left home with Ye Yuzhen. All the grievances he suffered from Ye Junsai can be avenged today. He couldn't wait to watch Ye Junsai suffer from the power riot and knelt down to beg for mercy. Ankan. After the college entrance examination, Nian Yin finally had free time. Early in the morning, Yin Yeonian took him and Lin Jiwan to play in the forest park. There are only two people in the apartment, Ye Zhenmian and Ye Junsai, who are watching Walking the Devil. The more Ye Junsai watched, the more amazed she became. King King's acting is really good, it's not obvious that she's acting at all. She works very hard and is very serious. Ye Zhenmian smiled, it's just that she is too busy, which makes people feel distressed. Ye Junsai nodded, and was about to say something when her body shook suddenly and she fell to the ground. With a poof, she spat out a mouthful of blood. Ye Zhenmian's expression changed suddenly, and he quickly supported her. Junsai. It's a small matter, the energy in the body just went riot. Ye Junsai's face was pale. My bloodline is not stable, it happens every month, I'm used to it. Ye Zhenmian hurriedly asked, is there no tranquilizer? Take some medicine given by Ching Ching first. I just used up the last one yesterday. Ye Junsai wiped the blood from her lips, and squeezed her fingers tightly. The Ye family withheld the new tranquilizer, and the Evolved Alliance didn't have a spare for me. Ye Zhenmian was very angry, they are too much. This is the evolutionary family, there is no family relationship at all. Ye Junsai smiled bitterly, there is no way, my bloodline has actually mutated, otherwise I would not be able to reach the A level, and I will suffer a lot every month, all relying on tranquilizers come stabilize. This also caused her to not be able to exert her true strength at all. Kong has an A-level false name. Ye Zhenmian was very worried, I'll call Ching Ching to come back, she can. Bang bang bang. The speech was interrupted by a knock on the door. Sensing the familiar aura of an evolutionary, Ye Junsai's expression froze, she blocked Ye Zhenmian behind, and opened the door by herself. You guys live in such a small place, Ye Yuzhen seemed surprised, how can this place compare to the Ye family? Ye Junsai's expression was cold, it's over? Get lost after you're done. Junsai, at least it's a sisterhood, don't be so indifferent. Ye Yuzhen smiled indifferently, I'm here to give you the tranquilizer, you should have used it up already. Give it to me, Ye Junsai sneered, are you so kind? Of course there are conditions. Ye Yuzhen's smile deepened, I got news that the Evolution Alliance laboratory is short of an A-level experimental subject. I signed up for you. You go, and the tranquilizer will be yours. Ye Junsai's expression changed abruptly, and he pinched Ye Yuzhen's throat. Ye Yuzhen. As soon as she finished this action, her body trembled violently, and she couldn't breathe. The bloodline was unstable just now, and now she uses the evolutionary ability, which is tantamount to adding injury to injury. Okay, don't do anything if your bloodline is not stable. Ye Yuzhen pushed her hand away, very contemptuously, there is nothing wrong with being an experimental subject. If you succeed, your strength will also improve. Ye Junsai's body trembled more violently, and her strength began to riot. By the way, your sister can do it too. Ye Yu was really aggressive. I think the Evolved Alliance is also very curious about why your parents gave birth to an offspring without evolutionary genes. Ye Junsai shook her fingers, and just as she was about to ignore the outbreak of unstable blood, her shoulder was suddenly pressed. Very powerful. Ye Junsai was taken aback for a moment. Miss Si, why are you? At this time, shouldn't Si fucking be filming at the border of Bizhu? There is still a 2-hour flight from Ankan. Ye Yuzhen frowned. She didn't realize when there was another person beside her. There is no need for tranquilizers, and no one is going to be a test subject. Si Fu stood sideways. You can go. What do you know? Facing Sci-fucking, Yayujin's expression turned pale. She sneered, do you know what a tranquilizer is? You know that without tranquilizers, an evolutionary with an unstable bloodline can only die. Do you want your aunt's own sister to die so much? The bloodline is unstable? I don't have any bloodline instability here. Sci-fucking still put his hand on Ye Junsai's shoulder, and said lightly, Aunt Junsai, protect your heart and breathe steadily. Today, I will make you a real A-level evolutionary. Roar at the end of the month, vigorously ask for a monthly pass, enter 1 and we will continue to add more. See you tomorrow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 486. This sentence was like a thunder, and it exploded in Ye Junsai's ears. She was confused. Miss Si, what did you say? Can bloodline instability be eradicated? How can this be? Gene mutations brought superpowers or abnormal appearances to evolutionaries, but they also gave them some defects. These flaws are enough to kill them. But Ye Junsai did feel that the violent power in her body was gradually calming down, and her blood was no longer surging. All she felt was a jump in the heart and dizziness. Sci-fucking slowly pulled out the silver needle that had pierced an acupuncture point on Ye Junsai's shoulder. Aunt Junsai, let's go in. Yayujin was stunned for a moment, and laughed directly, who do you think you are? And you helped her become a real A-level evolutionary. Apart from relying on tranquilizers, the Evolutionary Alliance has not yet found a way to 100% calm the energy in the evolutionary body. There are evolutionaries who have undergone surgery, but there is only a 20% chance of success, and most evolutionaries are unwilling to take this risk. If the strength cannot be calmed down, how can the bloodline be modified? Sci-fucking is a star, and Ankan is not the territory of evolutionists, and Yayujin doesn't want to alarm other people and be taken away by the Supernatural Administration Bureau. She looked sarcastically, and her tone was light. Okay, I have already brought the words, I will give you 3 days, as long as you agree to be a test subject, the tranquilizer will be given to you. Sci-fucking didn't even look back, and didn't give her a look. Get lost. Yayujin's face was livid, and she sneered, Ye Junsai, just wait. The oil bottle you found will kill you sooner or later. Boom. The door was closed. Yayujin couldn't dodge in time, and bumped into it firmly. Inside the house, Sci-fucking took out a roll of silk from the bag, and the silk was wrapped with silver needles, gold needles, and other metal needles. This set of tools was specially given to her by the Lord of Ghost Valley when she entered Eternity yesterday. She also carried the previous set with her, so I don't know if it disappeared with the explosion. Sci-fucking cherishes the second set very much. Some metals are also unique to the Eternal Continent, and each piece is expensive. If she loses it again, it will be success or failure. Sci-fucking first took out a black needle. Auntie, tell Aunt Junsai to sit down and don't let her move. With the support of Ye Zhenmian, Ye Junsai sat on the sofa. In just a few minutes, the rioting power in her body had completely calmed down. These are the 9 most important acupuncture points for an evolutionary. Sci-fucking tapped Ye Junsai's body a few times. It can be fatal, but it can also save lives, but it is useless to ordinary people. This is the first time Ye Junsai heard this statement. She was stunned. The Evolvable Alliance Laboratory. What is the laboratory? Sci-fucking said lightly, the research is all left over from my research. Before Ye Junsai recovered from this sentence, she heard the second sentence. Aunt Junsai, let me borrow your evolutionary ability. Buzz. 9 metal needles floated up and pierced through the air into the 9 acupuncture points on Ye Junsai's body at the same time, causing her body to tremble. Ye Zhenmian was surprised. Is this Junxi's teleportation? She saw Ye Junsai use it before, but it was not as ingenious and precise as Si-fucking's control. Yes, Si-fucking nodded, Aunt Junsai's ability is very good. After the bloodline is stabilized, her status in the evolved alliance will also increase. Spirit evolutionists are rare. But as long as it is a spiritual system, the bloodline level will never be lower than a level. Ye Junsai can only be said to have touched the edge of the spiritual department. It is conceivable how powerful an S-level spiritual evolutionist like Yu Ejian is. After her power erupts, the degree of destruction is earth-shattering. Shua. The 9 acupuncture points were opened up at this moment, and all the energy overflowing from Ye Junsai's body was taken back. She clenched her fists tightly and her eyelashes trembled violently until the power of an evolutionary was solidified and the blood in her body subsided. Si-fucking took off the metal needles one by one, and said, "It's fine, Aunt Junci." Ye Junsai suddenly opened her eyes, feeling her body. The bloodline problem that had troubled her for many years was really gone. "Miss Si, you." Ye Junsai stood up suddenly, and was about to kneel down. Her movement was not completed and was blocked. "I'm a little tired. I'll sleep for a while." "Auntie, you can talk." Si-fucking smiled, "It's fine if you're fine." She went into the bedroom, lay down on the bed, and soon fell into a deep sleep. In the living room, Ye Junsai was in a daze, and suddenly burst into tears. She couldn't speak in tune. "Jomian, I don't know how to thank Miss Si. She has suffered from the instability of her bloodline since she was a child, and she dare not use the ability of an evolutionary wantonly, for fear of causing a power riot and exploding her body to death. More evolutionaries died from this than from fighting. Ye Junsai doesn't really matter, this is her fate. It's just that she hasn't found Ye Zhenmian yet, so she still doesn't want to be reconciled. Now that she has found it, she is relieved, but she knows that she will die one day in the future, and this day is very near. But she never thought that there would be a day when she would be able to use the evolutionary ability normally. Si-fucking's kindness to her is no less than the kindness of giving birth to her. If we are doing well, she can rest assured to do other things." Ye Zhenmian handed Ye Junsai a few tissues, and said with concern, "Sister, now that your bloodline has stabilized, you don't have to worry about the assessment of the evolved alliance, right?" "Well, I'm 100% sure." Ye Junsai's eyebrows were extremely cold. "Mom and Dad's things can also be taken back. I will go to the evolved alliance tomorrow and get the token first. There is an absolute gap between the A-level evolutionary and the B-level evolutionary, and she is the only A-level evolutionary in the Ye family now. All the others are no match for her." It took a long time for Ye Junsai to calm down from her excitement. She seemed to have thought of something, and suddenly asked, "Jomian, Miss C's ability to evolve. She has never heard of being able to borrow someone else's evolutionary ability. But it seems that the evolved alliance has captured an S-level evolved before. This evolved can absorb the vitality, memory, knowledge, and personality of other evolved through skin contact, and obtain the superpower of the other evolved. But Si-fucking seemed to be different from this extremely harmful evolutionary." Ye Zhenmian smiled and shook her head, "I don't know, I never ask about Kinking's private affairs." Yes, Ye Junsai looked serious, "It must not be leaked, otherwise it will be bad if you are caught as a test subject. She must keep her mouth shut." The next day, Si-fucking slept until noon. This time she slept for a full 12 hours, but she hadn't recovered enough. When she went to the restaurant, Ye Zhenmian left a lot of food for her. Si-fucking ate up the mess, and quickly wiped it all away. The door was pushed open at this moment, and a surprised voice sounded, Junior sister, you have been hungry for half a year." Fifth senior brother, Si-fucking rubbed his eyes and looked over, "Are you back?" "Well, junior sister, I'm here to tell you that I'm going back to Liberty Island." Yu and Mingqi held the phone. This phone number must be discarded. After I go back, I will definitely receive an investigation from the Holy Light Tribunal. I can't contact you during this time, you must take care of yourself. Sci-fi's eyes changed slightly. Holy Light Tribunal. She has been in this place. There is a place called Silent Black Room in the Holy Light Judgment, and she stayed in it for 7 days. After she came out, even the elder brother who was always stern looked at her nervously, for fear that she might lose a hair. Later I heard that the people who went in, even if they only stayed for a day, went crazy after they came out. Don't worry, I'm fine. Yuan Mingqi smiled. Your friend took the responsibility, and the Holy Light Tribunal will not do anything to me. Senior brother is more worried about you. Okay, I breathed out slowly. I will go back, you wait for me. Don't come back now, Yuan Mingqi said lightly, it's too messy, wait until your strength recovers. I'm leaving, don't send me off. Beiki said that someone outside is staring at me. I could only watch him leave. She poured a glass of water and looked out of the window in a daze, with anger rising from the bottom of her pupils. Until the phone beeps. A WeChat came in. Yuzian, I'm downstairs. Come on, go around in circles. JPG. Packed up his things and went back to the set. At this time, the headquarters of the Evolved Alliance. Professor Luo, who is in charge of distributing evolutionary identity cards and all other documents, is looking through the documents. There was a knock on the door of the office. Professor Luo, someone has come to collect the token. It is an A-level evolutionary, and you need to be responsible. Professor Luo pushed his glasses. Here we come. He went out, and was taken aback when he saw Ye Junsai again. It's you. He also remembered that the woman from the Ye family was A-level, which was very rare in a small family. It's a pity that the bloodline is unstable, not even as good as B-level, and the token has never been obtained. Professor Luo shook his head and sighed. Blood is being drawn, please wait for a while. How is your health recently? Ye Junsai smiled and said, not bad, I should get the token this time. Professor Luo didn't want to dampen her confidence, so she didn't say anything. This instrument can detect the level and ability of an evolutionary through blood tests. The robot systems manufactured by the Intercontinental Research Institute have such a program in their systems, which allows them to better deal with evolutionists. But if the bloodline is unstable, it will be labeled as dangerous by the instrument, and no information will be displayed. Because this type of evolutionary will die sooner or later, there is no need to distribute tokens. Diddy. 10 minutes later, the instrument rang, and Professor Luo was a little surprised. Because the previous few times when Ye Junsai came to test, the instrument was alarming. He bent down to look at the screen. Lines of information appeared on the screen. Name, Ye Junsai. Evolver level, A. Evolutionary ability, teleportation, with a certain degree of telepathy. Professor Luo's hands on the screen paused, his eyes were shocked. Spirit Evolver. This matter is about to explode. Good morning. Continue to ask for votes. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 487. Professor Luo is in charge of evolutionary families of B-level and below, and he has also seen various strange evolutionary abilities. After all, the direction of genetic mutation is unpredictable. The laboratory has collected the blood of many evolutionaries, but it is still unable to determine the ordering rules of the DNA of these evolutionary genes. But it is certain that for so many years, none of these B-level families has a spiritual evolutionist. An A-level spiritual evolutionist can directly raise the rating of the entire family to A. Professor Luo stared at the ability of moving things with the mind, and has a certain telepathy ability, and couldn't calm down for a long time. Ye Junsai couldn't see the screen with her back to her. Seeing that Professor Lugo's face had changed color, and his body was trembling constantly, his heart skipped a beat. Professor Lugo, do I still have no information? No, no, there is. Professor Lugo finally came back to his senses, and said excitedly, you are actually an A-level spiritual evolutionist. After Ye Junsai experienced Yin Yeonian, Nian Yin, and Si fucking, she became bearish on many things. She sighed, yeah, just an A-level. Professor Lugo. A few seconds later, he said with a complicated expression, MS yeah, are you crazy? Ye Junsai didn't say anything, just asked, so I can get the A-level token. Not only can you get the token, but your family will also be promoted to A, Professor Lugo said excitedly, I must report, you are the first evolutionary I have ever seen whose bloodline has stabilized. He asked his assistant to entertain Ye Junsai, and left in a hurry. Not long after, Professor Lugo came back with an old man with gray hair. Ye Junsai's expression changed. She recognized the old man. Kamal Preto, one of the directors of the Evolution Alliance Laboratory. He is a very crazy scientific researcher, and many bold experimental plans were proposed by him. I heard from Lugo that your bloodline has been unstable since you were a child. Kamal looked straight at Ye Junsai, who helped you stabilize your bloodline. Professor Lugo's pupils shrank, is there someone to help? Although Ye Junsai was born in the small family of the Ye family, the pursuit of these years has made her more mature. Facing Professor Kamal's questioning, she was very calm and smiled, naturally, I stabilized it by myself, and I was lucky. It is impossible for someone to help with this kind of thing. Our genes are inherently unstable, aren't they? Professor Kamal scanned her back and forth several times with sharp eyes, and finally showed a smile, yes, the Ye family's rating will come down soon, and you are in charge of the Ye family. No, Ye Junsai straightened her back, but now it is. The spirit is good. Professor Kamal looked a little appreciative, okay, you can go. It was also because he was too worried. If someone can really change the bloodline of an evolutionary, wouldn't it be possible to create an army of evolutionaries at any time? It was too terrifying. Professor Kamal gave Professor Lugo a few words, and took Ye Junsai's remaining blood to the laboratory for research. Ye Junsai also had this doubt, and she specifically asked Si fucking about it. How is it possible? Si fucking raised his eyebrows, Auntie, although your bloodline is not stable, you have great potential and are indestructible. An ordinary B-level evolutionary cannot become an A-level evolutionary. That's right. Ye Junsai nodded and sighed again, it's just a pity that I'm sleeping. She didn't think that evolutionaries were superior to ordinary people. But with the evolutionary gene, it also has the ability to protect itself. My younger brother is a transcendent A-level evolutionary, and my aunt must also have an invisible gene. Si fucking said flatly, I left a few medicines behind, Aunt Junsai, let your aunt drink it every day, maybe it can be stimulated. This made her more excited than Ye Junsai's own bloodline stabilized. Okay, I must keep an eye on her. The Evolutionary League told me that the rating of the Ye family can be upgraded to A. It's all thanks to you, Miss Si. You don't need any resources, I'll give you all. No, I don't need it. Si fucking hummed, call me Ching Ching, don't look outside. Ye Junsai remembered that Si fucking copied her ability with ease, and also realized that even the resources of an A-level family would not be of any help to her. Over here, a staff member knocked on the door, Mr. Si, Mr. Tao is ready to start filming. Here we come. Si Fu responded with a raised voice, Aunt Junsai, I'm going to film. Ye Junsai hurriedly said, okay, okay, go and do your work, I won't bother you anymore. After the call ended, Si Fu changed into his costume. In more than a week, Mo Yanwen and Zhang Shuiyan scenes have all been wrapped up. If it's not that the filming hasn't been finished yet, Director Liu would like to release the finished film of the first 2 episodes now. He sat in front of the screen and told himself to calm down. Sci-Fi's first scene was the year of Zhang Ziyu's 18th birthday. She learned that there was a war in Bezhu, and she didn't even have time to attend the birthday banquet, so she immediately found the armor that Zhang Haiping gave her when she was a child. After dressing up, go directly to the palace to ask for a battle. Since then, she has never worn her daughter's red dress again. Mr. C's idea of this plot is very good. The screenwriter lowered his voice and said to the assistant director, although Zhang Haiping is an indomitable man, he also has tenderness in his heart. He has been fighting abroad for so long, and Zhang Ziyu is his youngest daughter. We'll look for gifts for her. Zhang Ziyu wears the armor given by Zhang Haiping, and also inherits the will of Jiang's family. She has been loyal for generations, and the meaning is very good. The assistant director nodded. Teacher Si really does what he does. That's it. The road guide heard it, and interjected, even Zhang Ziyu's weapons were drawn by her. Si Fu tilted the spear in his hand, but at this moment he felt that the spear was as heavy as 1,000 caddies. She is different from everyone else. The things that Zhang Haiping sent to Zhang Ziyu were entrusted to her by him himself, and then she traveled thousands of miles back to the imperial capital Yong'an, and delivered them to Zhang Ziyu, who was only 7 years old. Perhaps at that time, Zhang Ziyu already knew that such a day would come. Si's eyes were fixed. I'm done, let's start. The road guide ordered the camera crew to get in position and start filming. On the other side, Ye Yuzhen returned to Ye's house. Seeing that she had an ugly face after she came out of Ye Zhenmian's house, steward Ye didn't dare to say anything along the way. Mrs. Ye twirled the beads and asked, "How is it? Did she agree?" "Old madam, I really have never met someone who likes to talk big." Ye Yuzhen only found it funny when he mentioned Si. Do you know what she said? She actually said that she would help Ye Junsai become a real A-level evolution by. Mrs. Ye was surprised. Can this help? Ye Yuzhen shook his head. What did she think of the evolutionary? She thought it was a lab rat. Until now, neither the Evolutionary Alliance Laboratory nor the Intercontinental Research Institute has been able to fully confirm in which direction the evolutionary's genes are mutating. There is no medical method to change these mutant genes. Does Si regard himself as a god? The ignorant are fearless. Mrs. snorted lightly. You also have people you know who work as assistants in the laboratory, and even Professor Kamal can't do that. That's right. Ye Yuzhen was very contemptuous. I guess it's because I've played too many TV dramas, and I can't figure it out. Then just wait. Mrs. Ye was also very annoyed. There is no tranquilizer, she will come back sooner or later to beg you. Ye Yuzhen nodded. She also had the same idea. The servants were busy in the kitchen, and Mrs. family went out for a walk after dinner. Hey Yuzhen, on the way back, a female voice sounded from behind and stopped Ye Yuzhen. You still have the mind to take a walk here? Ye Yuzhen frowned, looked over, and found that it was an evolutionary person she knew. It's about the same strength as hers. Her expression turned cold. Why am I not in the mood for a walk? Because your Ye family's rating has been raised to A, the woman said. You didn't even tell me. Ye Yuzhen was stunned for a moment, then exulted. Really? Could it be that Ye Junsai has already gone to the laboratory of the Evolved Alliance, so the Ye family received such a big gift? Of course it's true. My son just came back from the Evolved Alliance, and the system has changed the rating of your Ye family. The woman was very envious. You will be able to receive the resources of the A-level family in the future. All the A-level evolutionary families add up to less than 20. Even the Qin family, from which Ye Junsai's father-killing enemy came from, had no fewer than 10 A-level evolutionaries, and none of them were able to advance to A-level. The woman is also very strange. The only one in the Ye family, Ye Junsai, is A-level, or a fake A-level with unstable bloodlines. How can he be promoted to A-level? Ye Yuzhen was very excited in his heart, but on the surface he was very reserved. I really don't know, and the Evolved Alliance hasn't come yet, so I don't know yet. Isn't this just here? the sharp-eyed woman saw a group of people appearing at the door of Ye's house. Hurry up, I'll go there with you, I haven't been through the scene yet. Yayuzhan also saw the Alliance logo on this team, and she couldn't hold back her excitement anymore. Madam, let's go quickly. The family is busy. Mrs. Ye took a step forward and saluted respectfully. Dare to ask, sir, has our Ye family been promoted to a level? It's been promoted, the captain responsible for delivering resources responded. Your Ye family has produced an A-level spiritual evolutionist, so of course you will be promoted. As soon as the sentence came out, Yayuzhan and Mrs. Ye were both taken aback. A-level evolutionary, or spiritual system? Who? Yayuzhan couldn't help asking, is there a mistake? Our Ye family doesn't have spiritual evolutionists, let alone A-level. Before the captain could answer, a cold voice sounded, yes. Yayuzhan turned her head abruptly, and saw a car stop in front of her. The car door opened, and Ye Junsai jumped out of the car, followed by Ye Luwen. She stood still a few steps, and smiled slightly under Yayuzhan's eyes that gradually froze. I just got promoted, are you happy? Now, she wants to take back everything that belongs to her. Ye Junsai, it's only A-level. Professor Luo. Asterisk. It may be that I have written too many novels. I had a dream at noon break. I dreamed that there was a house that would give birth to countless horror illusions. I walked out no matter what. Then I accidentally entered. Seeing me coming out, I was shocked that I was so powerful, and then the eye in front of them smiled and said, guess who I am? Dreaming that the scalp is numb, I don't write horror infinite streams, it's really a waste of material. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 488. Yayuzhan's pupils shrank. She only left Ankan yesterday, and Ye Junsai was still suffering from an unstable bloodline. How did Ye Junsai become an A-level spiritual evolutionist in the blink of an eye? What a joke. Yayuzhan couldn't help taking a step back, with a mocking smile on his face. Ye Junsai, you really know how to put gold on your face. If you are an A-level evolutionary of the spiritual system, I am an S-level evolutionary of the space system. What does Ye family's promotion to a level have to do with you? If it wasn't for your surname Ye, do you think you could stay in Ye's house? She would never believe that Ye Junsai's strength was above hers. Ye Junsai could only obediently lie at her feet. When the captain saw Ye Junsai, his expression lifted, and he immediately stepped forward. He said respectfully, Ms. Junsai, all the resources have been delivered, and we are waiting for your return. Ye Junsai nodded lightly, I'm sorry. Professor Luo is in charge of the Ye family. Ye Junsai, an A-level spiritual evolutionist like Ye Junsai, has naturally been promoted in the family he manages. So this time, he specifically used his privilege to apply for 3 times the resources for Ye Junsai in the system. Ms. Junsai is too polite. The captain was flattered. It is our honor to be able to deliver resources to you. Among the many evolutionaries, the spiritual evolutionists are the strongest group. Naturally, they wanted to establish a good relationship with Ye Junsai. Okay, it's none of your business. Ye Junsai never left Yayuzhan's eyes. I have to deal with some housework. The captain winked. Of course, when Ms. Junsai is free, the Alliance welcomes you at any time. He left quickly with a team of people. Seeing that the situation was wrong, the woman who followed Yayuzhan also slipped away immediately. Very well, we are the only ones left, Ye Junsai said, her eyes sharpened suddenly. Want to run? Boom. Yayuzhan hit a huge steel plate and was bounced directly to the ground. Ye Junsai stood still, but all kinds of things floated up out of thin air around her. Where are you going? Yayuzhan's eyes widened, and he took a deep breath. You actually. Although she is not a high-level evolutionary, she also knows some abilities that are recognized as top-level evolutionaries. Evolvers with these abilities will be cultivated by the Evolution Alliance. Teleportation is one of them. Such a powerful ability actually appeared on Yejunsai. As long as the power of the evolutionary is not exhausted, Yejunsai can completely defeat 100 with one. Yeyujin's legs went limp, and he collapsed on the ground. His face was pale, and he completely lost the will to fight Yejunsai. Mrsya and Yeyushuan were also dumbfounded. I heard that you are very interested in the laboratory. I think it's better for you to go in and see for yourself, Yejunsai said lightly. Although you are only a B-level evolutionary, I believe you can make yourself worthwhile. Yeyujin's cold sweat broke out even more, and he screamed, Yejunsai! Do you want the Ye family to be left alone? With you alone, there is no way for the Ye family to gain a foothold in the evolutionary world. You don't need to worry about that. Yejunsai smiled slightly. It doesn't matter if the Ye family doesn't want trash like you. This is how evolutionists fight for power. The loser can only be slaughtered by the winner. But if things are not so extreme during the struggle, and it is just a normal struggle, then even if they fail, the end will not be too miserable. Yeyujin's lips trembled, and all the thoughts in her heart were overwhelmed by the emotion called regret, which was surging. She just decided that Yejunsai couldn't fight her anymore, so she went to Ankan yesterday to show Yejunsai off. If she knew that Yejunsai's lineage would stabilize one day, how could she do that? But how can the lineage be stable? It is impossible for such a thing to happen. Yeyujin's thoughts were in a mess, his heart was biting like an ant, and he was almost out of breath. In order to prevent you from being lucky, I will personally send you to the laboratory. Yejunsai easily lifted Yeyujin up. If you go in, don't even think about coming out completely. What made her most unbearable was that Yeyujin actually planned to send Yezhenmian to the laboratory. That being the case, let the Ye family have a taste of what it feels like to be studied. Lu Wen, pack up these resources and send some to your cousin Yi. And Yejunsai turned around and said, I'll go to the Evolutionary Alliance. Ye Luwen nodded, Mom, don't worry, I'm here. Without giving Yeyujin and the three of them any room to struggle, Yejunsai imprisoned them, roughly stuffed them into the car, and drove to the Evolved Alliance. On the other side, Ankan. In the afternoon, Bizhu No. 1 Middle School recalled some of the senior 3 students. Nian Yian and Lin Jiwan were among them, and they came to collect their respective admission tickets for the International Joint Examination. A total of 84 students from Bizhu No. 1 Middle School participated in the International Entrance Examination this time, more than in previous years. Principal Lu was very pleased and gave these students bonuses out of his own pocket. At that time, people from our school will go together in the principal's office. Principal Lu said, you don't need to ask how high your ranking is, just do your best. After he finished speaking, he saw the director of admissions shivering. Principal Lu, what's your expression? The director of the admissions department said weakly, Principal, don't say the word try your best. If the students of the department listen to it, I will give you a try your best and get back with a full score. Principal Lu. Although this statement may sound a little arrogant, it is quite true. Principal Lu asked again, is she still on the set? Yes, classmate SI is filming, and her assistant came to pick up the admission ticket. The director of the admissions department nodded, but she said that she said hello to the crew, and there is still a week off. It's hard work for her. Principal Lu said, you tell her to let her rest after filming this movie, don't be too tired. The director of the admissions department also agreed, okay, I'll go and call her again. At the same time, the crew of the female general of the town. A scene has just finished filming. Si fucking put down the spear in his hand, wiped off his sweat, and stepped forward. Guide Lu, I'll discuss something with you. Tell me, Lu Gui said kindly, as long as I can do it. I need to take a week off. Si fucking said, I will go abroad on June 28. Director Lu agreed happily, no problem, our progress is going smoothly, and the shooting time is estimated to be shorter than expected. Thank you, Director Lewis. I fucking took a bottle of water, I'm going to rest for a while. Perhaps because of the fact that she has personally experienced real history, she put in far more effort playing Zhang Ziyu than Sui Yan, the god of war, and she was really tired. Sang Yanking brought her some snacks. Ms. Zhang sent it to you, just in time for you to take the exam at the end of the month, so you can rest. The agent assistant on the side. Look, taking the exam is a break. Sci-fi leaned on the sofa. Well, I'll squint for a while. You rest, mister. You said to pick you up for dinner tonight. Sang Yanking closed the door for her very considerately. On the other side, the crew of Walking Alone. After the college entrance examination, Song Wenhua also joined the filming group. At first, she was quite worried that netizens would say that she was not serious about the college entrance examination, and she asked the team to prepare a lot of public relations plans, but later found that she had no discussion on the internet at all, and the topic was all on SI fucking. This made Song Wenhua anxious instead. Celebrities are not afraid of black fans, what they are afraid of is that they will not be popular, and black red is also a kind of red. Once it disappears from the hot search for too long, sooner or later it will completely leave the public eye. Song Wenhua's team has never stopped marketing, but the popularity of remarketing is less than 1/10 of SI fuckings. This proves that although domestic entertainment is impetuous, strength is still the first standard. What's more, SI fucking's appearance cannot be surpassed. Song Wenhua can only be more serious about filming. The director was very satisfied with her acting skills. He pushed his glasses and asked one with concern, is the college entrance examination result coming soon? What is the estimated score of Teacher Song? Candidates who can know the results of the college entrance examination in advance have high scores. A few days before the results of the college entrance examination, these candidates will be robbed frantically by several universities. But even among the stars, none of the real academic masters can reach this level. And because of some policy reforms in the college entrance examination in recent years, it is no longer possible to promote high-scoring candidates such as champions like in previous years. In any case, these high-scoring candidates and the entertainment industry are not all the same, and they all want to enter the graduate school. Song Wenhua smiled slightly, dignified and reserved. It should be above 550. The director exclaimed, Teacher Song is really amazing. It's really amazing that an art candidate can get this score, and he's still a star. Although he didn't regret choosing Song Wenhua, he was still envious of SI fucking's enthusiasm and nationality. Especially after SI fucking was nominated for the Nine Heavens Award, the director sighed even more. Obviously, in terms of subject matter and other aspects, Lonely Walk is far easier to win awards than Zhenguo Heroine, but it's a pity that SI fucking doesn't know what to do. There has been no movement from SI fucking's side. The producer took a puff of cigarette and said, I guess her grades in cultural subjects are really bad, but if she gets better, she won't be silent until now. Among the artists who took the college entrance examination this year, only SI fucking and Song Wenhua were well known. Song Wenhua was born as a child star and became famous early. Many people watched her grow up and had a very high filter for her, and affectionately called her national sister. She has been nominated for the 3 major TV drama awards, and she also has the personality of Swiba on the whole network. After all, junior high school is also a very high-ranked school in the country. Originally this generation of actors, she should be the one who rides the dust. But SI fucking came out in the middle. Even Tong Lu-yun's performance can't compare with SI fucking, so what can she do? The smile on the corner of Song Wenhua's mouth was a bit forced. She went to the lounge to rest, and chatted with her agent about the college entrance examination. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. Instead, the manager smiled. It just so happens that you are all filming. Comparing your grades, your popularity will rise. She can't study well. This has always been a black spot that can't be erased. Such a good opportunity, not only to catch Sci-Fucking's popularity, but also to step on her. By the way, how could he miss it? The last few days of July, remember to vote for Ching Ching. There is no double monthly ticket this month. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 489. The significance of the college entrance examination is very important, and it is the most concerned by the masses. Every year from the countdown to the results of the college entrance examination, it will continue to dominate Weibo's hot searches for a month, and the popularity can't even match the top trend. Of course, the Song Wenhua team should seize this moment to promote it well, especially if they can step on Sci-Fucking's position and kill two birds with one stone. Are you sure you can score 550 this time? The agent asked again. I guess the score can't be checked in advance, so wait for the results to come out on the same day. Song Wenhua frowned. This year's questions are a bit difficult, and it doesn't necessarily depend on the score. The ranking is the most important thing. There is one sentence that she still hasn't said. She has been filming outside during her first and second year of high school, and she didn't attend a few classes. The team was afraid that she would miss the cultural courses, so they specially invited teachers to make up for her. She was indeed too busy. She was still recording variety shows on the eve of the college entrance examination, and she only wanted to play games to relax in her free time. She didn't have time to concentrate on her studies. I'm afraid she wouldn't get a score of 500 in the exam. But Sci-Fucking's schedule was more daring than her. Some students from Bizhu No. 1 Middle School broke the news on the internet that they had never seen Sci-Fucking come to the school to teach, so how could it be better? She doesn't need to do well in the exam, she just needs to get rid of Sci-Fucking by a large margin. You were in the top 500 in the city during the high school entrance examination, and you won't be far behind in high school, the agent said with a smile. I'll contact the public relations department first, and buy the hot search for you first. Song Wenhua nodded. With a dedicated team, she naturally doesn't have to worry about these things. She rested for a while, then went to filming. On the other side, the laboratory headquarters of the Evolutionary Alliance. Professor Kamal was still testing Ye Junsai's blood, and was looking at her DNA with a frown. Professor, a new experimental subject has arrived. The assistant knocked on the door. Do you need a new one from the staff? Oh, Professor Kamal kept his eyes on the computer screen. What level is it? They are all B level, the assistant said, but they are related to the spiritual evolutionist today. Professor Kamal became interested. Go, and have a look. This was Yayuzhan's first visit to the laboratory, but he came as an experimental subject. She had already been put on a lab coat, and her eyes full of white made her terrified. This should have been Ye Junsai's end. How so? Yayuzhan still can't accept the change of things. And suddenly, a flash of inspiration flashed in her mind, and Sci-Fucking's face suddenly appeared. Yayuzhan took a deep breath, his teeth were chattering. It must be so. Professor, that's her. The assistant ushered Professor Kamal over. She and Ye Junsai are cousins. Seeing Professor Kamal, Yayuzhan was full of strength and said hoarsely, Professor. Listen to me, Professor. Someone helped Ye Junsai stabilize the bloodline, and she didn't restore it by herself. This person is Sci-Fucking, and it is Yezhen. Sleepy niece. I swear what I said is true, because she told me that she can stabilize Ye Junsai's lineage. No matter how powerful Sci-Fucking was, it was impossible for him to fight against the entire evolved alliance. Even if she dies, she has to pull someone back. Yayuzhan's expression can be called crazy. As soon as the sentence fell, Kamal's expression changed. Check. The assistant also changed his face, and immediately began to check all the information of SI fucking. Kamal looked at Yayuzhan coldly. Tell me everything you know. Yayuzhan breathed a sigh of relief, and explained it emphatically. Within 3 minutes, SI fucking's information had already arrived. I checked, he's an actor. The assistant hesitated for a moment. I'm filming in the northern state of the Great Xia Empire. Oh, I'm still the #1 god of Oracle, voice actor, skilled, good in martial arts, and... Okay, I'm not interested in listening. Professor Kamal immediately lost interest, and he interrupted, I don't need the B-level experimental subject, I will pass it on to other professors. Yayuzhan was stunned for a moment, then became excited. Professor, there must be something you haven't found yet. She couldn't find out. The intelligence network of the Evolved Alliance is very developed. How could she not find out? Professor Kamal snorted, impossible. The assistant also laughed, sympathizing and ridiculing. From a small family, it is understandable that you don't know the strength of the alliance. Kamal walked out quickly, completely ignoring Yayuzhan's words, and continued with his research. Desperate, Yayuzhan was transferred to other professors. She knew that this time she was completely over. Meanwhile, Northern State. Brother 9, there was Miss Cha Si just now, and all the serious identities were found. Feng San frowned, but they didn't find anything. Si fucking lazily snapped his fingers, the star is my best protection. Yu Ziyan frowned, and said unhurriedly, it's very deceptive. Wow, you still have the nerve to call me the most deceitful person. Si Fu looked at him and complained, you must also be a piece of milfa. Yu Ziyan smiled, but did not deny it. You can cut it open and taste it. Wait, Si fucking took a bite of the watermelon. I will definitely chop you up. Yu Ziyan supported her head, and hummed in a moderate manner, I will send you to take the international joint examination at the end of June. Okay. Si fucking took another piece of watermelon, stood up and waved his hands. I'm going back to the set first. You rest, don't send me off. I'm going to speed up filming during this period, so I can't delay the progress of the set. Yu Ziyan glanced at Feng San. Feng San immediately said, I'm fine, I'll see Miss Si. After Si fucking returned to the crew, he started filming non-stop again. The tone of the female general of the kingdom was very tragic from beginning to end. Si fucking's emotions were also affected, and the crew specially arranged a psychological counselor. Teacher Si, drink some water. After the scene was filmed, the road guide asked his assistant to bring warm water in time. Don't worry, our progress is already very fast. Si Fu poured tons and tons of water. It's okay, this time the drama is deeper, come on. Mo Yishan was watching from the side under an umbrella. He didn't have many roles, and Zhang Haiping, who he played in the first episode, died in battle. But he has also won all the domestic film and television awards, and he has no higher pursuit, so he simply stays on the set and wanders back and forth every day. It is undeniable that watching Si fucking's acting is more beneficial than going to the Glen Film Festival. In the past few days, Si fucking's filming status is obviously better than before, and the progress is rapid. It was only during the chat with Sang Yanking that Mo Yishan knew that Si fucking was working so hard to film because Si fucking was going to go abroad at the end of the month. Mo Yishan was very curious, Mr. Si, what is there to go abroad? There are no film festivals abroad recently, right? Oh, Sang Yanking responded with a calm tone, Ching Ching didn't go to the film festival, she went to take the international joint exam. Mo Yishan paused, national and international joint exams. Is it the international entrance exam he thought of? The international entrance examination brings together the top group of young people from all over the world. But anyone who can take the international joint exam is a genius. The middle school is also committed to cultivating its students to the level of taking the international joint examination, but it has to admit that there is indeed a gap between geniuses and ordinary people, and high IQ cannot be compensated by diligence. Yes, Sang Yanking said again, the filming of this film is too depressing, she should go and relax, or else she will get sick from boredom. Mo Yishan's tone changed, relax, relax. He stared blankly ahead, obviously suffering a severe blow. The manager's assistant understood Mo Yishan's reaction very well, and couldn't help but sympathize with him. But it doesn't matter, there will be many such things in the future, and I get used to it after being shocked. No, Sang Yanking is a good example. The manager assistant sighed, and thoughtfully offered a glass of water. Teacher Mo, take some medicine. 2 days later, on June 20th, there were still 4 days before the official release of the college entrance examination results. A new round of discussions started on the internet, and the marketing account did not miss this opportunity and jumped out again. I don't know how the cultural classes of this batch of artists are doing this year. Last year, I remember a star who scored more than 400 points in the test, and the fans were all bragging about it, saying that he was a top student. More than 500 is skyrocketing. This year only Song Wenhua can barely see it. I am just curious about Sci-fi's score, to see whether it's me who misjudged her or her design. What kind of character is falling, what kind of personality did she set up? Stay away from your sister. Smile. One thing to say, Sci-fi really hasn't set up a persona, right? Look at her temper, why does she need a persona? At this time, in fact, the major colleges and universities in the Great Xia Empire have already obtained the results of high-scoring candidates from the 5 states of the Great Xia. The principal of Xia University called all the teachers in the admissions office, and they were seriously discussing this year's college entrance examination. This year's grades are good. Nanzhou number 1 scholar got 735, with perfect scores in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. The principal of Xia University said to the director of the admissions department, "You go to Nanzhou yourself, and you must grab him before Tsingtao." The director of the admissions department looked serious. "Sure, I've sent people to leave first, and I can stay in a hotel near his home tonight." They are serious about robbing people overnight. Principal Xia nodded. Although it is now forbidden to promote the number 1 scholar, and after the reform of the new college entrance examination, there is no specific distinction between arts and sciences, but grades are still the first criterion for judging. Tsingtao has used all kinds of tricks to rob people with them every year, and this time the best students must not be snatched away. The principal of Xia University went on to look at the next report card, and when he was thinking about various plans to snatch people, suddenly his eyes widened and he stood up abruptly. He stared at the screen tightly, and his body began to tremble violently, like an epileptic seizure. The director of admissions was surprised. "Principal." He hurried over and handed Principal Xia a glass of water. The principal of Xia University didn't answer, he was still looking at the screen, and his breathing became short of breath. The director of the admissions department lowered his head and also saw the grade strip on the screen. Name, Sci-fi. Exam number, 2024 XXXX 1291. Chinese, 150. Math, 150. English, 150. Comprehensive, 300. Total score, 750. Northern State rank, 1. National rank, 1. You have 1 vote, I have 1 vote, Ching Ching will debut today. First, give Ching Ching a face. It's really funny to search Tsinghua University and Peking University to grab the champion on Zhihu 2333. I don't know when it was forbidden to promote the number 1 in the college entrance examination. Anyway, every province in the college entrance examination had a number 1 student in the college entrance examination. Let's keep pace with the times. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 490. In the history of the Great Xia Empire, It is not that there is no perfect score in the college entrance examination, and high scores above 745 have been awarded several times. But the principal of Sia University knew that although the difference between 749 and 750 was only 1 point, it was actually a world of difference. A score of 750 proves that this year's test paper did not measure the upper limit of the perfect score candidate at all. This year's questions are more difficult than previous years. The principal of Sia University also read the professor's analysis of the various subjects of the college entrance examination, and lamented the difficult situation of this year's candidates. But even so, a perfect test paper can still be issued. Every subject and every question has a different teacher to mark and correct. No one thought that someone would get 750 points when the total score was combined. Quick! Contact BSHU number 1 middle school. I need all the contact information of the student. Principal Sia held the table to stabilize his body. I'll go there myself. The director of the admissions department also recovered from the shock. Principal, I guess BSHU number 1 middle school doesn't know where she is, so let's contact her agent directly. Hearing this sentence, Principal Sia was stunned. Agent? She has already started a company. No, the admissions director hurriedly said, she's a big star. Principal, don't you watch dramas? Principal of Sia University. He really doesn't look at it? The only recreational activity is to play go with the old man in the family courtyard. Wait, the principal of Sia University suddenly reacted, and suddenly raised his voice, big star. It's very big. The director of the admissions department gestured. Not long ago, she was nominated for the 9-day award. The president of Sia University still knows about the 9 Heavens Award, the first international TV drama award. He took a deep breath, and then his eyes darkened. It's over. 99 out of 10 stars will apply to the Academy of Film and Television, and he has already declared a failure before robbing people. A big star gave him 750 points in the exam. The principal of Sia University is suddenly incapable of accepting the world. Principal, don't be afraid, cheer up. The director of the admissions department cheered him up. My son said that she didn't take the art test, maybe she didn't want to go to Xiaoying. You're right. The principal of Sia University came back to life and urged, hurry up, Tsinghua University must know about it, we have to leave quickly. The principal of Sia University did not guess wrong. At the same time, Sci-fi's report card was placed on the desk of the top 10 university principals in the Great Sia Empire. Almost without any thought, these principals have all booked flights to BSHU. The shooting location of Zhenguo's female general is public on the internet. For a while, the top 10 colleges and universities all converged here. At this time, BSHU. Miss Si, your grades are out. Feng San's hand holding the grade card was trembling, and he took a deep breath. This is the grade card that Brother Ju got. Si was writing the script. When he heard this, he waved his hand lazily. I don't want to read it, I know. Feng San was taken aback. Miss Si knows. He immediately became vigilant. Could it be said that there is still someone who can get the result one step ahead of Yu Zion? No, he must report to Brother Ju in time. Full marks. What are you looking at? Si tilted his pen. I overestimated. At any rate, she has also produced the test papers for the international joint examination. The recent reform of the college entrance examination has made progress in the direction of the international joint examination. Feng San. He really was blind to his worries for nothing. This is your brother's report card, and Ms. Lin's. Feng San had no choice but to take out the other 2 report cards. They also did very well in the exam. Si took it, looked it over, and sent a message to Nian Yin. Si, I got your grades, guess how many you took? Nian Yin, sister, don't scare me, I have a bad heart, please tell me quickly. Si, alright, stop teasing you, 698 points, Congratulations. SI fucking, by the way, your little deskmate got 738 points in the test, and you can go to Sia University together. Nian Yin, my score is so low, I'm crying. JPG. SI fucking, don't be here in Versailles, you reached this score in the third year of high school, do you want other students to strangle you? Nian Yin shut up obediently. According to the history she experienced in the Great Xia Dynasty yesterday, SI fucking revised the script and went to the screenwriter, we can expand Zhang Suanjin's line, and... The screenwriter hesitated for a moment, isn't it good to add emotional scenes to Zhang Suanjin? Zhang Suanjin, Commander in White, is also the white moonlight in many people's hearts. He died earlier than Yin Huang, and he was a young general, so he naturally gained a large number of historical fans. The script writer wanted to avoid the character of Zhang Suanjin, but the film was about Zhang Ziyu's story, so he couldn't avoid it. Everyone has feelings. SI fucking smiled, we follow history, trust me. The screenwriter finally nodded, okay. The results of the college entrance examination are coming soon, Director Liu asked with concern, Teacher SI, take it easy. If those netizens say something then, don't take it to heart. SI fucking hummed, it's out, I've already got the report card. Guide Liu and the assistant director looked at each other, both a little shocked, got it. The scores will be released officially on June 24th, but in fact the results of high-scoring candidates have already come out. SI fucking knew it so early, how high is the score? The assistant director said tentatively, may I ask, how many points did teacher SI get in the test? 750 points. SI fucking picked up the spear, let's continue filming. Road guide. Deputy director. What made this master say the most terrifying score in such a flat tone? 750 points? Is this humming human? The road guide said with difficulty, help me. The assistant director said with a bitter face, I still want you to help me. The road guide had already floated up, and a few minutes later, he returned to the monitoring screen with a dazed expression, come on, let's start work. Sang Yanking was answering the phone, yes, to tell you the truth, we have already decided to go to Xia University, yes, she can enroll after filming, but because she still has to make movies, she will be busy. SI fucking had just finished filming a scene and was touching up her makeup, who is it? The phone number of the principal of Xia University. Sang Yanking said, he is coming to see you, but I said no, anyway, you must go to Xia University, but it seems that he wants you to study computers or mechanics. SI fucking was expressionless for a moment, I refuse. She didn't want to be busy in the laboratory, she was going to do archaeology in the cemetery. Anyway, it's up to you. Sang Yanking nodded. Last year, the Department of Archaeology recruited 9 people. You have to balance the relationship between your studies and your career. SI fucking nodded, I know. She leaned on the sofa and answered messages on her mobile phone. SI fucking, thank you ninth brother, for your kindness. Messages are returned in seconds. Uzion, well, take a good rest and don't be too tired. SI fucking stared at the sentence, as if something was stirred at the tip of his heart. She poked his head. A sentence immediately popped out below. You patted the big benefactor on the shoulder and hugged him. SI fucking immediately withdrew and took a pat. Uzion colon? SI fucking, you don't know that you can withdraw it, do you? I know. She thought to herself, and finally won a round in the duel with the black-hearted monster. Afternoon. Several entertainment reporters from Orange TV were invited to the crew, and they were discussing cooperation with Sang Yanking. Orange TV hopes that some tidbits of Zhenguo female generals can be played separately on their app. In terms of price, Sang Yanking was naturally not polite. Sister Sang, a lot of people have come to see teacher SI at this moment, the manager's assistant hurried over, stammering, "There are really a lot of people." Ah, Sang Yanking's first reaction was whether Sci-fucking was someone's father outside, and then someone came to him. She thought that the public relations plan she had prepared for a long time could finally come in handy, otherwise she would not be used to it after not fighting for so long. Sang Yanking narrowed his eyes. Go out and have a look." Several entertainment reporters looked at each other, and they all saw the excitement in each other's eyes. Their trip was worthwhile, and they would definitely get news that shocked the entertainment industry. Sci-fucking is so popular, and she is the #1 top performer. No matter what aspect she is a few blocks ahead of the other top performers, many netizens are waiting to eat her melons. However, she is an amazing person. She broke the news on her own initiative, which made it impossible for them to rush for performance. The entertainment reporters twitched excitedly, grabbed their equipment, and immediately followed Sang Yanking out. There was a line of cars outside, with license plates from every state. The door opened, and the people in the car swarmed down, scrambling to move forward. People squeeze people, people push people, and some get started. Sang Yanking, who was used to all kinds of violence in the entertainment industry, was shocked by this scene. Isn't this really here to fight? Sang Yanking couldn't help taking a step back, and said, "Everyone, this is..." Hello, Ms. Sang, I'm Yan Fuchhan, the principal of Tsinghua University." An old man squeezed forward, grabbed her hand, and said quickly, "Please make sure that classmate Si goes to Tsinghua University, and the Tsinghua University will give her a year. There is a scholarship of 100,000 yuan, and there is no upper limit on the experimental budget." "Yan, you are so shameless." The principal of Xia University pointed at his nose and said angrily, "He has already decided to enroll us in Xia University. No matter what you say, it will be useless." "Isn't this why you haven't filled out your volunteer application yet?" The principal of Tsinghua University ignored him, not to be outdone, and only said to Sang Yanking, "We can satisfy whatever request Si has, anything." He emphasized one more sentence to show his sincerity. "Nothing less than other, just because this year's college entrance examination got a perfect score, pervert." "Xia University is fine too." The principal of Xia University was anxious. "We can even open a new department for Si, and scholarships are not a problem." This. Sang Yanking was also attracted by the generous conditions. "The two are still invited, let us choose by ourselves." She had heard before that the two colleges and universities were crazy about robbing people, but she didn't expect to see it for herself one day. "I have no regrets in this life." Sang Yanking led the two principals in, and there were 8 other principals lining up behind them. Although the 8 principals knew that their hopes were slim, they still wanted to give it a try. The entertainment reporters who came out behind Sang Yanking fell into a daze, and their whole bodies were numb. How should they write headlines? Write about the fact that the principals of the top 10 colleges and universities gathered together to set up the female generals of the country, or did the principals of Tsinghua University and Xia University fight for the position of fucking? Good morning. There is still a baby of Piaopio, give Ching Ching a wave.